Hello to all you nifty nerds, gaming goons, and joystick jockeys out there in TV land today, and we'll get into that in a minute. This is Double Shift, the
Ooh.
podcast, the show
Ooh.
where the season game and industry vets talk about the song "Let's Give Them Something to Talk About" by Bonnie
Yeah.
Raitt. Danelle, you want to sing a little bit?
Oh, let's give them something to talk about.
All right,
I felt like I was doing the Will Ferrell version.
you did, and that's
Dibbidi-dabbidi-dibbidi.
It's fine by me. So that's right, though. A whole show dedicated to talking about that song. I can't talk today. This would be fun for Jeff
Yeah.
to edit.
Are you having a stroke? Do we need to give you some sugar or?
I think so. Yeah, maybe I'm feeling a bit famished here. But before we get into Let's Give Them Something to Talk About by Bonnie Raitt, we're going to talk about video games just a little bit.
Oh.
I am your host, Mikey, aka DJ. Can't see me face, balaclava. Along with my friend, former colleague, and current MC in any 52 states.
Wicked, wicked.
I'll take that. Of course, Danelle. Say hello, Danelle.
Hello, Danelle.
Thank you. I was actually looking, I paused because after I called you a current MC in any 52 states, I was looking for the line, I get psycho killer Norman Bates, but
Oh my gosh. I was just thinking about Norman Bates.
oh, interesting. That was an ODB song, of course.
Yes.
So anyway, that's who you are this week.
I'm
Um,
ODB?
no, current MC in any 52 states. You know, you're
Oh,
something
okay.
different every week. That's the
Oh.
gag. People will
Yeah,
catch
I
on
am.
eventually. I just unveiled one of our secrets, but that's okay.
Uh-oh.
With us, as always, is producer Jeff. No need for him to say hello, or for us, or anyone for that matter, to say hello to him.
Poor Jeff.
Poor Jeff. Um, this week's episode is blandly titled
Oh.
Game Ad Nauseum. We're going to be talking about dope game commercials on the television
Drugs.
set.
Oh.
So for you kids out there, commercials were things that you couldn't skip when you watched
I
TV back
know,
in the day.
right?
Yeah, now you can pay. Back in the day, you couldn't pay extra to have them removed.
I
You
know,
can
it's
do that
crazy.
now. And you honestly, you couldn't stop singing some of them despite your best efforts. So shout out to I Feel Like Chicken Tonight, J.G. Wentworth, and of course a
God.
classic banger, Empire Today. None of those are video game commercials, but they're they're
Oh,
fantastic jingles. So because back in the
they
day you couldn't
are.
skip the ads, marketing dummies had to make these commercials memorable. And the game industry was certainly no exception. They had amazing TV spots, and of course magazine ads as well. I think today talking pretty much just about TV. Some were funny, they were weird, and some were just plain nasty. So, two questions to
Hmm.
you, Danelle.
Yes.
Do you remember anything?
Oh, wow. How dare you? I didn't
All
smoke
right.
that much in my life. Yes.
Okay, sorry, three questions. The one I just asked, and then do you
Okay.
remember any game ads from like the '90s? Let's say. I
I'm.
guess we'll pause there.
I know. I was actually trying to remember. I mean, not video. I remember Crossfire, but that's not even a video game. It's a board game.
It's a game. Good jingle.
Yeah, you'll be caught in the crossfire.
Yeah,
I
banger.
think I might remember one for the running pad, maybe the Nintendo, like the glove, like those commercials for some reason.
The Power Glove.
Yeah, the Power Glove, or like the track and field game, something like that. I remember people like using the glove and like running on a pad. I do, but I don't remember the commercial specifically.
That's okay. We'll
Um,
go. We're, you
Maybe
know
you'll
what?
jog my memory here.
Exactly. This show is really just about learning Danelle and jogging memories. Any other jingles you want to shout out before we move on? It doesn't have to be game related.
Oh yeah, I was trying to think of the one that I remember the most was I'm the credit man.
Oh man, that is a local Bay Area
Yeah.
gem.
Oh.
Paul from the
Yeah.
Diamond Center.
Yeah,
Yeah, hell yeah,
there you go, the Diamond Center. Yes, him. Oh man,
absolutely.
that played all over the place.
That guy was the
Um
man.
Jim
Mac
Rogers, the
Daddy.
people's lawyer, 444 44 41.
Ooh, let's call it right now. Jeff, call that number. Get them on the line. We'll see if they want to join in today's fun. Um, all right,
Yeah. See,
perfect.
those are the two that popped in my head. I'm sure there's more, but those ones just repeat.
Right. Let's see. So we're gonna relive some great moments in game advertising history. We're gonna learn how commercials actually changed the dynamics in the video game industry for years to come. And we're also gonna laugh at Paul Rudd as he stares in awe at a giant screen in some sort of empty field type thing. So,
Aw.
are you
I love Paul
excited?
Rudd. Yeah, I love Paul Rudd.
Oh, good, perfect. That's gonna bring us to our first segment, which
Oh.
is titled. It's actually a song. I'm a fan of Paul Rudd and also Sudoku. My banana's not ripe, and I've been waiting for so long. So that's the name of the segment. We've got to
Oh
work on those
my
names.
gosh.
But that is something I used to sing to my colleagues at EA, and they liked it for
Oh, I
some
was like, was
reason.
that a real song?
I just used to sing it because,
It's a real song by Mikey, aka
pretty much all
original.
the stories we've told so far of our industry experience have nothing to do
Mm.
with work and just tomfoolery. But
True.
anyway, so Josh Lucas, right?
Who's that?
Tommy Doyle, shout out to Halloween and
Oh,
shout
I
out
know
horror
Tommy
movies, and of
Doyle.
course Ant-Man. These
Oh,
those are two iconic characters and one character from Halloween because I love Halloween.
yeah, heck
That
yeah.
Paul Rudd has played. There's probably other characters too, but who cares? Um, his best
Oh,
work, in my opinion,
and
well, I care.
Clueless.
Listen, I'm not trying to disparage him. He seems like a nice fellow, but in my opinion, his best work came in 1991.
Hmm.
So obviously, Danelle, we can't watch the ad right now. I don't think we have that technology. Our technology is from the early '90s here at the Double Shift itself, but I can describe it to you if you would like to go through that.
Oh, yeah.
All right,
Let's
picture
do it.
it,
Yep.
America, 1991. All right, but I guess I already said that, but just wanted to shout out Sophia from the Golden Girls. Um, so we start with a very young Paul Rudd, who, by the way, Danelle doesn't age, right? I mean, that
That's very
guy,
true. He looks the same from Clueless till he does, and I don't even know a
whatever he does
recent.
now.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, he doesn't age, so good for him. But anyways, a very young Paul Rudd's in a softball field or something like that at night. He has a very '90s shaggy dude haircut and a trench coat because he's edgy. Um,
Yeah.
and there seems to be a brand new, better than the NES Nintendo console plugged into like a jumbotron scoreboard type thing. All
Oh,
right, so
okay.
you can picture this, right?
Yep.
So, with authority and oozing cool, this guy slams in a copy of F Zero into the brand new Super Nintendo.
I loved F-Zero. The pink car was my favorite.
Oh yes, F Zero, and great soundtrack too, right? Good,
Yeah.
good sort
Oh,
of
I
like
want to play this now.
driving music. I know. I'm fiending for some F Zero myself. So, anyways, but it's very important. It's not a
I do not
Nintendo.
remember this commercial. I wish I would have remembered it.
You should look it up afterwards.
Yeah.
So we're only used to Nintendo, but now we have like a Nintendo that's super. So he's there, he's standing there, he's kicking ass in F Zero, iconic racing game, and that gets the attention of other cool '90s teens who all seem to be trapped behind a fence for some reason, but they're like, onlooking. Then he
Yeah.
slams in a copy of Football, and that's all I could see in the game cart from the commercial. It says Football, and so he's playing that, and now at this point, the '90s teens have figured out how to kind of get to where he's at. And then it switches to Pilot Wings. Do you remember Pilot Wings?
Oh, not
It's like an
really.
airplane game. You
It sounds like it.
floating around in your airplane. You did airplane
And
things.
wings? You're just flying around in wings?
Yeah, you no, you had an airplane.
No.
And then so that was a good game. I'm a little sad that he didn't slam it. He slammed the other two.
Oh,
They didn't show him
yeah.
slamming that one. But he's
Hmm.
having like so much fun. And I'm pretty sure they show him saying "fuck yeah," but I think they edit out the fuck part. Then it switches to SimCity. Um,
Oh my gosh, that game too.
yeah, SimCity was great. I don't know that
Like
I would.
hours and hours and hours playing that game.
Right, but you wouldn't play it like at a baseball field on the NES, right? Like
No.
I don't know. You might like want a chair, and like he's like, the audience can't see me, but I'm like button mashing, and I'm like
Yeah, yeah.
pantomiming button mashing. He's like button mashing, and I'm like, I don't think you do that in SimCity, but
Not
he's
at
a
all.
great.
Such a slow game.
It's his first acting job. He doesn't know what he's doing, so.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, that's fine. Then he like looks in bewilderment at what seems to be another screen And now it's Zelda: Link to the Past.
Oh,
Great, 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 great game.
wow.
I think somehow the jumbotron got bigger in the ad too. I don't know what happened there. Maybe they had to film at like a different location for that.
Probably.
There's
That's
also
hilarious.
wind and electricity going around, so it seems to be getting dangerous for these '90s teens. Hopefully, the
Oh,
sprinkler doesn't turn on in the baseball field and they get electrocuted.
yeah.
So all the teens are behind him, and it's like now it's switching from all the titles that we just mentioned in a matter of seconds, and he doesn't even see the other teens. He's so entranced by the sheer power that is the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, or
Wow.
because we like to abbreviate everything, the SNES.
Sniff.
Have you played a SNES lately by any chance?
No, I actually sold my SNES like maybe 15 years ago at a yard sale for like $30 or
Oh,
something. I needed the money back then, and so like I was never playing it, and I I can't believe I did that. I'm so upset because now I would have really wished I would have kept it.
of course. And now, side tangent. I don't think you can get that kind of stuff at yard sales anymore. I think that there's a whole retro game sort of
Mm,
resurgence, and people have figured out that they could sell this stuff for like a ton of money. So
yeah.
I think those days are over, unfortunately. But we
Yeah.
have a SNES at the studio that I refer to a lot.
What you do?
The Utah, it's Utah. Shout out Utah has
Uh,
a SNES there, and the controllers to me feel like macho crackers. They're very. It
oh.
feels like you could just break them. It's kind of
Yeah, they're
crazy, but
small.
yeah, and like thin and light.
Thin, yeah.
So, anyways, yeah,
Hmm.
it's kind of bizarre to play it, but so, anyways, Paul
Oh.
Rudd. Back to Paul Rudd. I guess he beats Zelda, kind of, which is crazy that he did that
Wow,
in a
that's
night
short
at a
amount of
baseball
time.
field.
Yeah.
Then lightning strikes, and the screen cuts to a black background with red text, and then it says, "Now you're playing with power, super power," and then that's it. So, what do you think of that commercial? Do you feel like you've watched it?
I do actually. You did great description. Thank you.
That's
You
pretty
can be a
much it.
storyteller.
Oh yes, yeah, and I did that all from memory. I didn't have a script
No, you
in front of me, or
didn't.
yeah,
You
no,
remembered it that well?
no, my goodness, yes, I did. Yeah,
Oh, I don't know how I don't remember this.
all the words that I said were not written down on a Word doc in front of me. Anyways, that's
Hmm.
basically like the show today. I'm gonna be describing commercials to you, and I hope you're okay with that.
Ooh, I'm down.
This is theater of the mind. You know what I mean? We can't watch these
Exactly.
commercials, but we can
No, we're
describe
getting
them to
old
people.
school here.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Remember, this show is equally about video games, but also like being old and remembering shit. So that's just what it is. Any comments or questions or afterthoughts before we move on to your favorite segment, Danelle?
I guess that commercial was like introducing the SNES. Is that what it was?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah,
Dang.
I'm pretty sure it was
That's what it
like
sounded like when you're describing all the games and then all that. I really wish I would have remembered that.
1991. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I mean, if it wasn't the very first, it was definitely like
Probably
the
came out around
boldest.
Christmas time for everyone to like buy it for their kids.
Of course, yeah. They didn't mess around with marketing at Christmas time. I'll tell you
Heck,
what.
yeah.
Um,
Wow.
yeah. So there we go. Paul Rudd. Shout out Paul Rudd. In fact, Paul Rudd, if you're listening, we would love a sponsorship from you. I don't know how that works, but I think it's just you back us financially. So if you enjoyed us talking about you and you happen to be listening, then yeah, give us some money.
Paul
Um,
Rudd.
all right, Danelle, are you ready?
Are you ready?
Nope.
Are you ready?
Are
Let's get
you
ready to rumble. Are we allowed to
perfect?
say that? I don't even know if that's copyrighted.
Yeah, I think with podcast, I don't know. I don't know. Jeff, we need a lawyer immediately. Yeah. Anyways, Gamer Snacks is our next segment.
Snacks? Oh, snacks? Snacks? Oh no. Snacks? I shouldn't have said it then. I didn't know you were going to play that.
Play it. That was you performing
Oh,
for our audience with the
oh
drum
totally.
machine and somebody seemingly chomping to the beat. Ow, ow.
Yeah. That crunch was epic.
It was.
Made me want some chips.
That's a banger. I can't wait for the drum and bass remix
Oh
coming
my
later this year.
god.
Love me some drum and bass. Anyways, Gamer Snacks, of course, for those of you who are new to the show or can't remember, shout out Nick Wong. It's where we pair, just like pairing fine wine with the fancy food, we pair legendary snacks with the perfect
Yeah.
video game. Snacks is always spelled with an X because I like it like that. Yeah, baby. Sorry.
Wonderful.
So, hey, another question for you, Danelle.
Oh no. I don't know if I
Who
can handle all these
rules?
questions. Who
Who
rules?
rules?
Oh, Doyle rules.
That's it. That's what I was looking for. All right. Second question. Who here loves snacks?
We
You
all
like
love
snacks, right?
snacks. Yes.
Yeah, you're confused, right? Because of course you love snacks. It's the snack segment. But what if I told you you cannot have like only like one bite or one serving of these snacks, but like hundreds, maybe even thousands
Oh,
of
you can't
these?
eat just one?
Yeah, maybe thousands of these snacks in a single
I
session.
probably have. Well, in a single session?
Yeah.
No.
So
I don't think I have.
you can
You can, that's
if you
true.
are eating sunflower seeds, and this is a subject that's
Oh.
kind of near and dear to Jeff and I's heart. We're both the
Yeah, I know you really like these seeds.
seedlings.
And you're particular on your brand too.
Oh yes, we'll get into that. Jeff and I, yeah, we share one heart. So that's kind of weird. Um,
Aw. That's
and
sweet.
speaking of heart, actually, if you do have like thousands of these in a single session, your heart actually might explode due to the amount
All
of
the
sodium.
salt. Yeah.
A lot of salt. But man, I do love some seeds. So now Jeff, who can't talk or won't talk,
I was just gonna say that. Thank you. Yes.
we might
You
get
read
canceled.
my
I
mind.
don't think you're allowed to do that. But um, Jeff likes like he doesn't like the flavored ones. He likes salt,
Original.
original, which is fine. You know.
Yeah, I think I prefer original too.
Oh man, so I like original, but I like the flavored ones. We have ranch.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, I had ew
I
feet.
I know. No, I don't always say that.
Well, yeah. We do actually. We have a fan that is quite upset with you at your distaste
Yes.
for ranch. As I
Yes.
think you've seen on the
I
socials.
saw his comment. Yes.
We have dill pickle,
Yep.
Old Bay,
Old Bay, they
Old Bay
do?
seasoning. Oh my goodness, and
Wow.
those ones are so addictive.
I
So
can't.
Bigs, my favorite is called Bigs. They are
Yeah,
the best
that's what it
sunflower
was.
seeds.
Yeah.
Jumbo makes the best ranch. Jumbo is a brand. They make the
Yeah.
best ranch. Parentheses ew feet dot dot dot. Um, David's are reliable in my opinion. They put too much seasoning
Hmm.
on their flavored ones and not a consistent shell crack, which is very important to me.
Oh. Yeah.
Bigs and Jumbo have the most consistent shell crack.
Hmm.
Yes.
I might have to buy
Um,
some.
I know. Well, yeah, I have a bag of Biggs dill pickle, and I'm like, well, maybe I should like eat them and spit them during the podcast, and then, that would.
I'm assuming they're like a healthy snack, except for all the sodium. I don't know.
If you take away the sodium, they are a healthy snack. And
Do they have non-salted ones?
let me tell you, they do. Jumbo makes a non-salted one, and you're basically eating like
I'm not gonna like dirt. I don't want to say dirt. I just want to
yeah,
say
dirt, no,
like dry.
when you buy like bird seed.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're eating that basically.
that's what. I'll have to try it though, just to see, because I don't really want all that salt. But sunflower seeds sound good.
Oh yes, absolutely. So if I had to pick one to eat for the rest of my life, which sounds terrible if that's the only thing I can eat for the rest of my life, it would be Big's dill pickle.
Wow.
They are salty. Jeff is offended by that. They are salty. They are briny. They're kind of cool in a way, like like you got a pickle out the fridge. It's kind of cool.
I had a
And
pickle
just like
last
a
night.
session. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, I had a pickle last night with my hot dog.
Ice cream.
Oh no, but I was gonna ask you if you've had the pickle moonshine.
Pickle moonshine. No.
Yeah, that brand of moonshine that I buy, they make like cherries, they do peaches, and then they do like white lightning, and they do blackberry. They do all sorts of different flavors, and they have a dill pickle one, or it's actually pickles in moonshine.
Huh. No, I haven't. What I do like is, I might even mention this, but I'll get to it now since you asked. There's a beer called King Crispy
What?
by Deschutes, and it's like a
Okay.
Pilsner.
I know who they
And,
are, yeah.
Um, taking my kids to the pool last year. I took them one day for like we were there for like 6 hours or something like that. Brought a bunch of food and
Dang.
stuff like that. So I had a King Crispy and I had a pack of Oh Snap pickles, the cut up pickles. So I dumped some of the
Oh,
pickle juice into the beer, and that was
what?
fantastic.
Really?
It was fantastic. Like not a ton,
Hmm.
just a little, a little bit. Pickle beer. It's good stuff.
Well, so you like
Um,
your pickles.
I like my pickles. Uh,
All right. Well, that's
we're
not what I.
no. But for those who can't see, because no one can, we're both laughing at Jeff because he like doesn't pay attention to us. And when she said that, he looked up and
Oh, did he? I wasn't.
oh no, you didn't
Did
even see that.
did he?
Yeah,
I
he
shouldn't
did.
say that.
He did. This is the Diddy episode apparently. A lot of
Oh
Diddy
no.
references. Not good. Not good. So, anyways, just like a session of playing Balatro. Shout out to my pick of the 2024 game of the year. I always got to have just one more run when it
Yes.
comes to like popping in another batch into my cheek. So the shell is super tasty. The actual seed kind
Hmm.
of seems to taste like dill pickles. It's sprinkled with amazing pickle fairy dust. Whatever they do, I don't know what they
Pickle
do.
fairy
It's
dust.
it's fantastic. It's like they bought a bunch of Vlasic jars, dumped the
Oh,
pickles, saved the
classic.
brine. Yeah, Vlasic. And yeah, it seems like they soaked the seeds in the Vlasic juice for like 27 years, and then they packaged it
Hmm.
up and they sent it to me. Um,
They
Biggs
made
is
them
like
just for you.
they did. It says for Mikey.
Hmm.
Bigs are a very baseball forward theme, and so it's baseball season now, and so we have a bunch of
Oh, I
we have a
think I
bunch of
saw
seeds
that
in the house.
somewhere.
We've got to have a bunch of seeds. Me and my
Hmm.
youngest daughter, we like spitting seeds. Um,
You spit them on the floor?
it's no, so last baseball season we spit them just like in our front like yard, like just
Hmm.
everywhere. I'm like, yeah, just spit them here, and then we got like ants.
Oh, really? I was gonna say maybe birds, but ants.
Birds for sure. I mean,
Ants.
like because if you spit, like my daughter would just kind of spit them out whole sometimes, just to, like get the flavor. Like so,
Oh.
birds will get them then. But yeah, I think there were
Oh.
so many shells that attracted ants. So don't do
Yeah.
that. Spit them in a cup. We spit them in a cup now.
Hmm.
Um,
A big
and
spittoon.
and so yeah, dill pickle seeds from Biggs.
All right,
That's
maybe I'll try it.
Yeah, I was when I was kind of writing this out, I was like, Danelle's not going to be that excited about this snack this week, but we'll
It's
see.
not about me though.
Yeah, it's
So
about it's about just sharing memories.
yeah,
In
exactly.
fact,
Not that I don't like seeds. I used to love seeds. I used to eat them a lot actually when I was younger, probably like 16. I used to
mm,
really, really like seeds. And then, yeah, maybe it was the brand that I was eating at the time, but I was like, man, some of these are just hard to crack. Some of them, they don't break right. And they're kind of hard to eat. And then at least the salty ones too, they like make my tongue. They
yes,
not to burn, but you get the like salt burn or whatever it is you want to say after a while, and then like your mouth like hurts, and then I was just like, I don't know about these things, but
yeah,
they're
same here with
addicting
tongue.
to eat. And they're also very fun. They like waste time. It's like kind of something interactive, like
Y-
So,
Many people have used it to quit cigarettes.
mm,
Um, for the kids out there listening, which there should be none of, cigarettes are something that people used to actually smoke back in the day instead of vaping. Cocoa melon cereal juice. So uh,
yeah.
yes. Dill pickle seeds got me through a few 24-hour shifts at OnLive, actually. We used to do these
Oh,
24-hour shifts, and you had to stay awake. So between that and like a
yeah.
pack of dark green American spirits, I was not healthy at all. But I
Nice.
stayed awake, and I maybe had like 3 Red Bulls too. So my heart was loving it that day.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Loving it.
so yeah,
Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
I'm not a seed noob either, Danelle. When you eat
No.
seeds, how do you eat it? Do you do one at a time? Do you crack it with your fingers, or do you take a big handful, shove them in your cheek, and
I'm a
then
one at a time. I'm a one at a time person.
right? No, I'm a handful, shove in the cheek like a big chipmunk, and collect them one by one with my tongue to
I just
crack,
feel like I
extract,
can't do
and spit.
it. I feel like I would end up like I feel like maybe I'm not experienced enough, I guess. I just feel like I would swallow some of them
Ooh,
or
don't do that.
I don't know. I don't see how it's possible how you can even do that. Just
It
like
takes
shove 'em-
practice. It takes
I have a
practice.
small mouth too, so I just don't think that would work well.
Um, Yeah, again, Jeff looked up,
I know. I saw him look up for a second.
looking for memeable, clippable moments here. Jeff, you knock it off. Well, I'll
Hmm.
tell you, I've spitting seeds all over Santa Clara County. I walked a lot growing up because I got my driver's license late, and I loved walking and
Oh.
spitting. So I bet I bet I've planted like a few actual sunflowers in Santa Clara
Your
County. I hope.
DNA's all over town. Hope no one thought you committed a crime.
I
Man, this
know.
guy's saliva's everywhere.
Yeah, I never thought about that. Good thing I was kind of a goody two shoes, honestly. I mean,
Oh.
yeah. No, I
You?
was.
No.
Yeah, no, I was. I mean, I
Grown up in the mean streets of Santa Clara?
yeah, I somehow survived that ish. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Hmm.
so yeah, clearly I love seeds, right? We talked
Yeah.
about seeds long enough.
Hmm.
Now we need to pair it with the game, and today I'm kind of
Oh,
cheating.
yeah.
I like creating a set of rules that I don't stick to like after a week. So I'm gonna cheat. And I'm gonna pick
Okay.
two games today, but I'll explain why. Um,
Okay.
so the first game I'm gonna pick is Little League Baseball Championship Series for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh. Hmm.
So the reason this is cheating is when I played this game as a kid, and I played the crap out of this game as a kid, I wasn't spitting seeds back then. You know what I mean? So this is like a little facetious.
Oh.
Facetious might be the word of the day. Maybe, I don't know. We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
It means that I'm not kind of being honest with this kind of core memory BS here, but it is
Well,
a
you.
baseball game.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. That's why you paired it, right? Because it's a baseball game.
Exactly, and I think like NES had a lot of great baseball titles, but like I don't know, I remember that one a lot. Maybe it's because they had a player named Mikey on
Oh,
one of the
gosh.
teams. I think he batted like cleanup. I can't remember which team, and he was like fat. I wasn't a fat kid, but like a fat Mikey was kind of fun, fat adult. Um,
Oh,
and
geez.
and so yeah, I like that. He was like
Oh.
guaranteed to hit a home run, so like that was like for me like I was like, oh, that's great, but no seeds. Game was great. Honestly, I think it holds up still today if you compare it to modern day baseball games. That's just my opinion.
Hmm.
Um, the swing of the bat was smooth
I
as
really don't
eggs.
know it. Yeah.
Pitching was satisfying. You had a lot of control, like with the you can move the ball and kind of that stuff.
Yeah.
It was easy to throw between bases, and I love Nintendo when you in baseball games when you hit the ball. When it went up, it went, and when it went down, it went,
Yes.
so that you
Yes.
knew it was going up and down. And
Classic.
God, man, I need to go find this cart actually for my Nintendo.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on. More realistically, when I spit seeds in game nowadays, it will be
Mm-hmm.
something that I just mentioned a few minutes ago, which is Balatro.
I don't even know what the heck that is. You
Man,
said that word
so we,
earlier, and I was like, is that a real word?
so when we were in office, our most recent time together in office,
Yeah.
which we all loved, uh, pretty much daily, Yuta, Filiberto Baggio, and I would just say Balatro, like we were obsessed with Balatro. So you have no idea what Balatro is?
I just Googled it right now to see what it is.
Nice. Or as our good friend Reggie would say, no, Mike, no, just Google it.
No,
Um,
ew.
yeah,
Oh,
no,
he's saying
that's
for a
Reggie.
different reason.
Shout out, yeah, he's a tricky one, that Reggie. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, Blatcho's a card game. There's no timer, and
Yeah.
you only need one hand to play it if you're playing on PC. If you have a Switch or phone, obviously you need both your hands. But so this today we'll talk about playing it on PC.
Okay.
Um,
Yeah, I see it's on Steam here.
I have Blatcho for Steam, my phone, and the Switch. So I've triple dipped. Shout out Mr. Newsom. Actually, he gifted it to me on Steam last year. So
Oh,
um,
nice.
so I play them all on all the systems, but yeah, it's the simplest game ever, but it's very addictive and it's definitely not easy.
Hmm.
I kind of got ahead of myself. I know I said that I remembered all these words and I'm saying that's actually a lie, Danelle. I have a script that I work very hard on. And the next sentence I have, for those of you living under a rock, and then in parentheses it says, or Danelle,
Yeah.
Balatro is a poker-themed roguelike deck building game.
Deck
Meaning you
builder.
start a run or a game, and then when you lose, that's it. You'll start from the
Mm.
beginning on the next run. Along the way, you unlock different stuff that you can randomly use on your next runs, and there's a lot of different kind of difficulty and parameters that you can do with different decks that you can choose from.
Hmm.
Um, now,
Yeah, it seems interesting looking at it
I'm
here.
I'm definitely I'm going to teach you some
You're gonna keep
language
going.
or some
Oh.
names that I've kind of made up. So I
Okay.
am a Balatro bro, but I'm not a Balat bro.
Oh my
All right.
god.
So what that
Wow.
means is I love Balatro. I randomly just say Balatro or Balatro bro from time to time, but I'm also a dumbass. And so, in order to be a Balat bro, you got to be like a numbers dude, like an accountant or something like that. And then
Uh,
so those dudes love Balatro, and they like destroy the game. There's internet videos on TikTok and all that kind of stuff. I just happen to really like it, so that makes me a Balatro bro. Does that all make sense?
oh yes,
Yeah,
100%.
you don't have to lie to me.
I'm just making you feel better.
Thank you. No one does that enough nowadays, and I appreciate that. Balatro is extremely inspiring to me. It was made by one dude, and he doesn't like the limelight. He kind of stays out of that. But my message to him is like, don't make amazing shit if you want to stay out of the limelight. Now everyone wants to talk to him, but
Yeah.
respect. Um, yeah, he
Respect.
just does it right. I wish we had more of him. Uh, and don't just take my word for it, Danelle.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Ba-da-da, right?
Dun-dun-dun.
What am I shouting out there?
Mhm. Sounds like reading Rainbow.
Good job. Ba-da-ba. Just look it up online, which you already have, and you'll see that everyone loves it. All these AAA douche nozzles, and one dude makes a simple game that blows everything out of the water in 2024. So take that, AAA douche nozzles.
Wow.
Sorry, I don't mean it. I'm just trying to say that, like, indie games are awesome and more people should buy
Yeah,
them.
for
That's all.
sure.
That's all.
That's all.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm surprised you didn't. I'm surprised you don't remember me and Utes and Filiberto Baggio vaffanculo mangiami incassato l'excusi tale Milan molte bene Alfredo e bene
Oh
talking about
my
that
gosh.
in the office
I
every
probably
day.
thought you guys were just saying some stupid word, and I didn't know what you guys were talking about, and I didn't pay attention to you guys.
Yeah, clearly, I know.
I was busy working.
That is true. We were not. Well, maybe Yuta was, but Phil and I weren't. Oh, poor Phil.
Well, yeah, Utah, that guy was definitely always working hard.
He's a workhorse. There's also
I
like a
love
Joker.
horses.
Yes, that's the streak is not broken. Jeff, bring that up in post. Make it very loud. I love horses. Yeah, you got that down. All right, cool. The Joker dude who talks shit to you is also dope. His name is Jimbo, and he's always talking smack when you lose. And he kind of sounds like an Animal Crossing character, like he doesn't say
Oh,
words. Like,
yeah. Yep, yep.
yeah. So, anyways, Balatro rules, Sunflower Seeds rule, NES baseball games rule,
Hmm.
Go Giants, Duck the Fodgers,
Oh, wow.
fuck the Phillies, and of course that
Wow.
was spelled with a PH. And
Oh,
same on Oakland for losing the A's. So that's my summary. Big.
nice.
So we're looking here for sponsorships from Big Sunflower Seeds and King Crispy Beer. Both of us. We'd love if you would sponsor us,
Yeah.
please. Give us
I
your
could
money.
take one right now.
A
Well, take
beer?
some beer and seeds right now. That'd be nice.
It does sound really nice. I wish the weather was nicer. But your thoughts,
Yeah.
Danelle, on Gamer Snacks this week?
I like it. I think it's well because I'm like you opened up my eyes to a new not to say new perspective because I know what seeds are, but
Yes.
just kind of making me rethink to go out and buy some seeds.
I try to rethink, but nothing happens.
Knock, 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 knock. I knew you were gonna say that,
I know. I can't help it.
and I know
I
I
say
just know
that
you
probably
too
once
well
a
after
day.
working with you for too long. I know you're like
Yeah, no,
little
that
your
one that,
go-to.
that was kind of a guarantee. You'll hear that at least one day. All right. Uh,
Seeds. I'm down.
yeah. So I was just thinking, like, I'm always thinking about merch and T-shirts and
Oh, I thought you were
maybe
gonna say murder. I was like, wow.
no,
I am with my murder shows.
unless it's a murder of crows.
Oh
Um,
wow,
I was
didn't.
thinking like a shirt could be like, I like it.
Yeah, baby.
Oh, baby.
I like it.
All right. Are you ready to move on, Danelle?
Let's move on.
All right. So we're getting back to game ads, of course. This show really is just the Gamer Sack show, and then everything kind of revolves around that. Let's be
I
honest.
know. Yeah.
Which is, I think, fine. It's probably our best segment. But the next segment is called the hedgehog versus the Italian stereotype.
Oh.
Of course, I'm talking about who?
You mean Sonic and Mario Brothers?
There you go. Yep. Now listen, Danelle. Genesis does what Nintendo don't. Remember?
Wow.
Do you remember that by any
No.
chance?
Is that an
That
actual
was
commercial or saying?
that was like not only a commercial. That was like a series of commercials. That was like kind
What?
of the opening salvo from Sega. Shots fired,
Damn.
right, towards
Yeah,
Nintendo,
hell yeah.
and that created what I would consider to be the greatest console war of all time. It wasn't the first, but
Hmm.
I think it was the greatest console war of all
That's
time. So
awesome, yeah.
yeah, in the '90s, it was SNES and Genesis. Let's be honest. There were other consoles.
Yeah.
Um, most people didn't care. Some people just couldn't afford them. Like Neo Geo was,
Exactly.
yeah, $600 or $700, and the games were like $100. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I, honestly, I believe a big reason for their success was the commercials. They were kind of, yeah, they went kind of back and forth a little bit. Um,
Wow.
I don't I'm not going to get into the weeds, and I'll pause there to let Danelle's excitement kind of tamper down a little bit because she heard the word weed.
Yeah. It's been
Oh,
so long.
it's been like 5 minutes, bro. So I'm not going to get into the weeds about the actual console wars too much because otherwise we will be here for 4 hours. We're just
Yeah.
focusing on the ads. I will say there's a book called Console Wars by Blake Harris, and
What?
that was also made into a documentary series of the same name that I
What?
believe is on Paramount Plus, I want to say.
Oh, I have
Unless,
Paramount Plus. I'll have to check it out.
yeah, that's going to give you all the history you need and then some. So if our three fans are interested after
Our
this, they
three
can go do
fans.
that if they haven't watched it already. I love giving homework, by the way. I did that all the time when I was
Oh
manager
god.
at MZ, right? So
I guess so. That's right.
yeah, during the
What did you
pandemic, I
give to
made.
Jack that he never watched?
Oh, Jack was like a daily. It was just like, hey, Jack, watch old shit.
Yeah, and he
I
just
can't
like, no, I
remember.
never got to that.
Yeah, no, he just made me feel old every morning when I would mention something. He'd be like, "What? What's that?" I'm like, "Oh crap,
I know.
I'm old now." No, I made everyone watch there was like a Netflix game docuseries during the pandemic, and we like talked about it in our morning meeting. So,
We
uh,
did.
yeah, never. It was never work. It was just like, hey, let's talk about fun stuff. So, anyways,
Well, that was
Sega.
like half the point of being in those companies. I mean, that's why
You
you work
gotta
there.
you gotta vibe. You gotta vibe with your team. Right?
Yeah. We're not a bunch of stick in the muds.
Yeah. Plus, it was the pandemic, and the only time we could hang out was kind of in that meeting. So it was
Yeah.
very, very well thought out, I would say.
Yeah.
But enough about me and my fantastic managerial brain.
Absolutely. Hire this guy. He's looking for a job. If anybody knows anybody who needs a manager, Mikey is wonderful.
That warms my heart, Danelle. It's lovely that you say that. I fear that if they find me through this podcast, they won't hire me, but
I know.
they might want to hang out, and I'm down to get some pizza and stuff too. So
Yeah.
yeah, hit me
I
up,
tell you,
bro.
networking, as always, you never know where it could lead to.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'll be
And
stripping in the evenings. Oh.
I'll remind people that we had a shirt from MZ that said hashtag Don't Fuck Up, and we wore it in public. So am I swearing too much, or are you, Jeff?
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
anyways,
we're
so.
going off the
So,
rails. Yes.
exactly. I wouldn't have it any other way. Sega and Nintendo, they weren't the first console wars, but they were the best. Sony kind of stepped in and kind of killed that duel by adding a third formidable opponent, and that eventually led to Microsoft versus Sony in the console wars. But what's
Yeah.
kind of sad is I think console wars are kind of over. Nintendo's over there doing its own thing. It doesn't really matter if you have a Sony or Xbox anymore. It's all kind of the same. They have like the same games pretty much. And
Yeah, I know you could only get one-on-one before, and they had special character. Do they still do that? Like they used to have special characters you could only get in this game on that platform and on that
every
one, and then you couldn't play cross-platform. And now it doesn't matter what you have; you can just play on PC to Xbox to
yeah,
to
exactly. No,
PlayStation to.
it's getting more and more kind of intermingled, which I think is unhealthy. I
You
actually think
do.
the game industry, not only the fans, but us workers can benefit from another console war because it just generates
I guess
eyes and money and all
that's
that kind of
true.
stuff. Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyways, yeah, Nintendo don't. So that was an ad had a catchy jingle, something like Genesis does, and like someone would say like football, and then they would say Genesis does, and then it was of course Genesis does what Nintendo don't. So shots
Wow.
fired at the NES, which obviously wasn't not as powerful as the Genesis.
It's
Genesis has
not.
better
Yeah.
graphics and sound, and
Yeah. I
NES
didn't
just
realize that
became
though for years. I was such a Nintendo person, and then when I actually started playing the other consoles, I was like, oh, this machine, like, their games were fun, but they definitely did not have the power and the graphics. You're right. And I just never realized that because I was always on a Nintendo system. And I was like, man, I've been missing out.
yeah. I don't know. Um, I was a Nintendo fanboy. I mean, the Genesis had a lot of cool stuff too, and we've shouted out Genesis things in past episodes, but for me, I'm a Nintendo guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Genesis came out, NES kind of became an afterthought, like just like the moon shape bagel bite that Danelle leaves when she's eating bagel bites, kind of an
Oh,
afterthought, throw
you
it in the
remember
trash.
that.
Yeah, it's a throwback. Look at me. Um,
Throwback.
Fear not, though. In
Mm-hmm.
Genesis versus NES, Genesis wins. But as our good
Yeah.
friend Paul Rudd told us earlier, the SNES is here and it has some sort of power. Um, all right, Danelle, listen.
What
All
kind of
right, you
power does it
ready?
have? Yes.
I need you to pay attention because I'm about to say something really quiet. So let's simmer down so we can have a second of silence so we can let the audience at home hear it, okay?
Okay.
Sega! Sorry, I meant that I was going to yell, not be quiet. Do you remember that? Sega!
Of course.
Okay, so
That's iconic.
yes, so that during the console wars time, they always kind of ended their commercials that way. So
Mm-hmm.
Sega was like for the cool kids. For
For the
example,
cool kids.
what song is that?
I wish that I could be
Oh,
like the cool kids from Echo Park or whatever their
okay,
name is.
gotcha. Not my favorite song, but I
Oh.
do love when you sing, so I don't want to discourage it.
Oh.
I know, I'm sorry. Edit that part
No,
out.
I like you said I like it when I sing. I was like, that's nice. I mentioned
Yeah.
it.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Um, so let me give you an example of the cool kids.
Yep.
There was a commercial where this nerd's getting bullied, and he's not happy about getting bullied. Who would be? So he buys himself a Genesis, and it has Mortal Kombat and X-Man games, and um, now he's back at school the next day, and like the bullies are like, "Oh, dude, this guy's super cool now," and they're like giving him cookies, and like there's two like girls sitting next to like fawning over him, and then he smacks the plate out of the cookies out of the bully's hand angrily, but also kind of calmly says, "I said chocolate chip." And then it says, "Welcome to the next level." That was one of their slogans at the time before they all yell, "What?" You know.
Uh,
Check out!
oh, I thought that's what you're looping back around to, but oh man.
And of course, who could forget? Whoa, color. So this commercial,
What?
a young Ethan Suplee. He's
Who's
an
that?
actor who's been around forever. He used to be a big guy. Now he's all buff. Um, so he's in the commercial. He's looking bored. He's looking tired. He's looking all hot whilst he's playing a Game Boy in the park. So if you remember, the OG Game Boy had spinach colors, not very attractive, right?
Mm.
Um, he then sees a dead squirrel in a state of post-mortem rigidity. Danelle, that's
Oh
another
gosh.
another word of the day. He picks it up and he smashes himself in the head. This causes a 60s sitar to strum and him to see colors, possibly due to a concussion. But despite having double vision now, his Game Boy has color or a reasonable facsimile thereof. Down the pathway a little bit, there's a much skinnier, energetic-looking kid who kind of looks like a penis with a '90s flat top haircut playing the Sega
Yes.
Game Gear. So basically, what they're saying, if you buy the Game Gear, you don't need to hit yourself in the head to enjoy a video game.
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? At the end of the commercial, they show the squirrel, and you know what he does, Danelle?
Sega.
You could try that again. Take two. You know what the squirrel does at the end of the commercial there, Danelle?
No. Sega.
Yeah, good, good. Take two. It's much better. Jeff will go take two. Leave take one in for
Take two
comedic
and call me in
effect.
the morning.
Yes, take two and call Danelle in the morning.
If I remember the morning.
Yeah, what time do you wake up?
What?
I
That's
don't know. You said
personal.
call you in the morning, so we
I'm
wanted
just
to let
kidding.
Jeff know. Jeff
Today
edit
was
all of
8
this out.
o'clock.
Um, all right, so that's Sega, the cool kids. Nintendo didn't have. They weren't like shit talkers, and they weren't kind of like as shocking or extreme. They were very '90s, but they kind of let the games speak for themselves. Mario Kart ads were kind of like a Sunday, Sunday, Sunday vibe, and what
Mario.
Nintendo had was like wacky teens, and they're like playing outside or skipping school. Well, probably not because it's Nintendo, so it's like after school program, and they like make zany faces and they move around a lot when they play. Whereas, like, I don't know, I remember playing video games like sitting still, like not moving around, but whatever.
Yeah.
Um, Sometimes they would say like if there was a Donkey Kong Country ad, it would say like, "Oh, you not on Sega," like meaning that you can only play it on Nintendo. That ad was cool. It had like Megadeth playing in the background or like a fake Megadeth, and it was like very frantic edits of gameplay, and then zany teens playing it and making faces and moving. Super '90s. But yeah, when they say not on Sega, it's like, oh, sweet. Thanks for letting me know, Nintendo. When I go to Rangoon Video and Pager later to rent Donkey Kong Country, I'll be sure to ask for it on Super Nintendo and not on what, Danelle?
Yeah. Sega.
There we go. You're getting it. I love it. But your last Sega is going to be it's going to be full of bass and energy.
I don't
Um,
have bass.
no, that's all right. I'm all about that bass.
Oh, no.
Uh,
That was a
sorry.
good setup.
Shout out Megan Trainor, I guess.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess.
No, my bad. Both my kids really love her, and
Mm.
I'm the old guy that talks shit about her music to them, and they go, "Whatever, Dad."
Oh, yeah. Well,
Yeah,
because you have to. You're dad.
it's like I've earned that
You're
right.
older. Yeah.
Yeah, even if sometimes I'm like, oh, that song's okay, I'll still be like, oh, what is this hoot
Yes.
nanny? So,
Who
um,
nanny?
Nintendo commercials were very seizure-inducing, honestly. There's like a Kirby commercial where the kid goes into an ER for being all puffed up like Kirby, and it's very kind of disorienting and
Oh
gross.
gosh.
Mario All Stars, Donkey Kong, super frantic, extreme music. Showed a lot of seconds of gameplay and then some stock footage, and then kids making zany faces, and then the guy's like, "You should buy Mario." And honestly, it reminds me of having a conversation with Danelle. It just goes on and on and on and on, and there's no end to the sentence, and she puts her voice inflection
Wow.
up like this, and I'm like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that's
Hmm.
what Nintendo commercials were like having a conversation with Danelle, which is lovely, but maybe tiring at times. So, anyways, sorry, I'm
Well,
like shots fired at Danelle today. I don't mean
at
that.
least I know that's the episode should be.
Yeah. Well, I know. I said I like when you sing, so there you go. But listen, a conversation with Danelle
Hmm.
is better than a conversation with Jeff.
Wow.
So I'd rather watch the Danelle commercial than Jeff. Jeff would be like for the deaf
Wow.
people, right? Be like, oh, he's not
I
saying
know.
anything,
I can't hear him.
just nodding his head and putting his thumbs up and shit. But then Nintendo started saying the best play here, inferring that they are better than Sega. But again, they didn't talk too much shit, which was kind of boring. So listen, I can go on and on and on and on and on and on.
Hmm.
Looking maybe like I'm always trying to plant seeds, and maybe I didn't do a good job. I was looking for like an Erica
Ooh.
Badu song
See.
out of you.
Well, I was gonna say on and on and on, but I think that's something else.
I'll take it. Yeah, I think that is something else, but I'll take that. I'll take anything, honestly.
I almost was going to, but I was like, I keep singing, so I'm not gonna do it this time.
No, I want you.
I
The
guess I should
audience
just
wants you
trust
to
my
sing.
instincts.
The audience wants you to sing. Stop
Yeah,
it.
instincts.
Instincts. Um. Anyways, yeah, that was very short summary of the console war ads. It kind of defined the next 20 something years of gaming. Sega really didn't hold back. Nintendo was super 90s, but not mean. And honestly, go YouTube 90s commercials in general, but like the Sega ones and the Nintendo ones. It's a fun trip down memory lane. There's a ton of
Mm.
it, and if you grew up in those times, it would be fantastic. So to me, Sega won the commercial wars, but I was a Nintendo fanboy, as Danelle mentioned. She was. I don't think she said fanboy, but which that would raise more questions. But
Well,
I think Nintendo
not in this
won the
day and
war
age.
ultimately because they're the best, and now Sega doesn't exist as a console maker anymore, which is actually kind of sad. So
Burn. Yeah.
I love the Dreamcast, but that was their swan song. So let's
Swan
pour one
song.
out for the homies, Danelle, and end this segment with one more. Sega!
Sega.
Thank you. Awesome. Fantastic. Any
Awesome,
questions about
awesome.
Mario or Sonic or ads or 90s or Jeff doing commercials for deaf people before we move on to now?
No, no questions. But when you talked about baseball, the one baseball game I remember was on Sega. I knew someone. I don't know if it was the All Star game, but I used to play that one a lot, and I thought that one was a lot of fun.
Sega did have, I think, better sports maybe than Super Nintendo. They had a ton of baseball games. I can't remember which one you're talking about either, but I bet it was good. All those
I
games.
know. I was trying to see if I can look it
Just
up really
Google
fast,
it.
but maybe it was. No, I know I am, but oh wait, this is images.
Yeah, this is all good. This is good.
I know.
This is good radio right here.
Yeah,
Keep this in, Jeff. Listen, while you're googling,
it doesn't matter, but
I have a segment that I kind of want to make a regular segment, maybe not every week, but every once in a while, and it's called Epic and Exhausting Rant Time, Danelle. So
oh,
epic and exhausting, obviously, meaning that it's gonna be a long one. Um,
hmm.
so here we go. Since we're talking about commercials and stuff, I wanted to bring it to like modern times and talk about something that annoys me, and that is fake ads on mobile games. Um,
Oh,
so are you ready for my epic and exhausting rant?
yeah. I'm ready to hear this because I probably will agree with you too.
All right, here we go. Strap in. It's going to be a while. Here we go. Dumb mobile fake ads, the ones that show you one thing but are different when you download them, are
Yes,
terrible, and I
yes.
hate them. That's it. That's my rant.
Oh,
You see what I did there? It made
wow,
it
you
sound like
tricked
yeah,
me.
yeah, I tricked you. So that will be an ongoing segment, stuff that I want to epically and exhaustingly rant about. But yeah, fake ads on mobile games are terrible, and I hate them. Rant over. That's all. That's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna go on for that for a second, where I'm like, oh man, that looks so cool, and then come to find out it was like a mini game in the game. It's like not even what the game was about, and I'm like, this was stupid.
Yeah, and sometimes they don't even have that. They don't. They'll be like, "Oh, play this Tetris clone," and then you download it, and it's like, "Oh, it's just a, city builder or whatever it is." So
Yeah, I don't know how they can get away with doing that.
I don't either. I don't either. It makes me angry though. So
Hmm.
all right, that's it. That's that's my rant. So I hope everyone was able to sit through it, and apologize for taking up your time. But
Oh, well, I'm exhausted.
we're gonna move on to rapid fire shoutouts, which probably ironically will spend more time on the rapid fire shoutouts than the epic and exhaustingly long rant. Um, but I'm just gonna name some ads, and now we're gonna go over them, and we'll get your
Oh,
thoughts.
okay.
So Smash Bros. Nintendo 64. Do you remember that one?
Nope.
So it was a bunch of like. By the way, I love the way you say nope, nope.
Nope.
Just straight to the point.
Up a hope, down with the dope.
That's. I
That is.
disagree. I disagree on the syntax of that, but I like your passion.
I know.
So Smash Brothers 64 was like a bunch of let's say theme park like characters, but Nintendo is like Donkey Kong, Mario. They're like Yoshi.
Yeah.
They're like skipping, and I believe the song "Happy Together" by the Turtles is playing, which is a great song.
Oh, I love that song.
And then they start beating each other up, and of course at the time when Smash Brothers was unveiled, that was nerd excitement galore. Now you can be all your favorite Nintendo characters, and you can kick each other's ass. So that was obviously
Kick his ass,
very
Seabass.
yeah, exactly. Um,
No,
Shout out Dumb and
I should
Dumber.
have Googled commercials before these beforehand, so I could have seen if it jogged my memory.
No, I like when you don't know what we're talking about. I think that's
You
better.
don't know, now you know.
All right, good cutoff.
Of course, I
There's
don't say
also
that word.
there's
I'm
also
not allowed.
a bunch of 90s extreme close-up shots. So Mario 64, Cruising USA. You remember Cruising?
Oh, I love.
Cruising!
I only actually ever played that in the arcade, and I know I said I never really played arcade games, but whenever I did go to the arcade, that's where I would play it.
You are quite contradictive, yes.
Yeah,
That one had a lot of zany faces and close-ups on
yeah.
90s kids with 90s haircuts and electric hair at the end and screaming and being generally dumbfounded. That was a theme in 90s commercials, just being like, "What?" After
Yeah,
you're playing. The game is so
that's true.
good that it makes you an idiot.
Yeah, exactly.
There was
The
also a
games
lot
are
of
rotting your brains.
yeah, well, yeah, maybe yeah, that was kind of working against them, because look at what it did to these '90s teens with bowl haircuts. So there was
Yeah.
a lot of trembling and confused dogs I've noticed in '90s video game commercials as well. There's one there's an ad for milk, the drink milk,
Oh.
but it's
Oh, you mean
Mario.
with an I? You mean milk,
Milk. Oh, how
not
do I
not.
say it?
You
Milk.
say milk. Yeah.
Melk. I do
Yeah.
probably. It's my
Yeah.
Santa Clara accent, bro. Uh, milk. Yeah. Anyways, Mario's
Not
jumping
milk.
around your
Oh, there's a.
refrigerator, and then he
Oh,
like drinks
really?
milk, but the dog's like. "Arr!" There's an ad for Paperboy.
Oh, I loved. I still own Paperboy.
Love Paperboy. Love the game and the rapper. In fact, Diddy. Um,
Oh, I was like,
Ditty.
what are you talking
Ditty,
about?
not Diddy.
Oh.
Well, actually, I don't remember now. I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
that.
the Diddy. Yeah, do
The
the
Diddy.
yeah.
Do a little bit.
If
Sorry.
you want to, cause I
Yeah.
can.
No.
Want to.
Yeah, Jeff. No Diddy. Diddy. You know what I'm saying?
With
Uh,
T's, not a D.
yeah, I think. But anyways, there's a confused and bewildered dog in that commercial.
Oh.
That's all. That's also the start of a Nelly song, I believe.
It's
I think
EI.
yeah.
Yeah.
He has a confused and bewildered dog in that song too.
That's true.
Sports commercials got me hyped up. There was Ken Griffey Jr. baseball. There's like some coach hyping
Ooh.
up the kid. It got me super pumped up. Bob Carney one-on-one with Kobe Bryant. It's like a fake interview show, and he's like, "Kobe, you did amazing last night." But he's talking about the video game, and Kobe's like, "That was a video game." Everyone, the straight man, and there's always straight man in video games, meaning like there's a comic relief and all that, and all the comic relief are just idiots in the '90s. Like I didn't know the difference between video games and real Kobe Bryant, but that one was fun. Pokemon Stadium was like a college football looking like thing that was like a fun commercial back in the day.
Hmm.
Although I never really got into Pokemon too much. Danelle, did you?
No, I did not.
You weren't a nerd, is what you were about to say.
No, I was gonna say I feel like it was past. Well, I want to say for some reason I feel like it was past my time, but maybe
Right.
it wasn't. Maybe I just wasn't into that genre. But I feel like it was after my time. But I now looking back though, I think it was around when I was a kid though.
Yeah, no, it was, and it's been around forever. So I never really got into it either. I mean, I did like that commercial, but I will say, random shout out has nothing to do with that commercial. There's a game called Pokken. It was for the Wii U and eventually the Switch, and it was basically like Pokken meets Tekken, right? Like, or
Oh,
sorry, Pokemon meets Tekken rather. And
oh,
it was a fighting game, and so I
interesting.
played the shit out of that one. Despite never really being a huge Pokemon guy, I think a couple guys at work kind of hyped it up for me. I'm like, oh, I'll get it, and I really liked it. And you know what I used to say every day before I would go home and play Pokemon, Danelle?
What?
Get my drink on and my smoke on, then go home to play some Pokemon.
Oh my
So shout out
gosh.
Dr. Dre. Sorry,
That's good.
I really did say it too.
Oh my
I'm very
gosh.
proud of myself for that.
I'm proud of you too.
There's another commercial I want to do a quick shout out for. It's called Bass Tournament Champion for SNES. So fishing
Oh
games were
my
kind
gosh.
of around like a lot back in the day, and they were kind of fun. But the ad was like two redneck puppets like in an ice fishing setting, and they're playing the game and they're like talking in redneck, but you can't really understand them. It's like, hey, we go down there. How are you down
Yeah.
there? And then a
Cool.
game show announcer guy kind of pops up, and he talks about the game so people can understand. And then they go back to the yo, tell you what.
Like sound like Boomhauer.
Yeah, kind of. So, anyways, all of that to say, Danelle, I wanted to do rapid fire shout outs of commercials. I was obviously watching a lot of commercials to do that, and then I stumbled upon one that I would like to describe to you here. And
Okay.
do you remember one of the main questions, maybe a few episodes ago, that I kept asking about, like the whole ass cooked turkey on a silver platter? Do you remember my question?
Oh, no.
That's okay. Jeff is mouthing it. What the fuck? All right, that's the
Oh,
question.
that's
So
right.
there was a game called Gauntlet Legends for the
Hmm.
Nintendo 64. They had a bunch of ads, but there's one in particular that I saw that I was I was a little shocked, honestly, and I'm not easily shocked. And I honestly, I don't remember this from the '90s. I remember the game. I loved all those games.
Mm.
Um, but anyways, yeah, this one made me feel funny. Not in a good way
Feel
either.
funny.
Yeah, like
Hmm.
not like climbing the rope in gym class.
Oh, okay.
Shout
That's
out,
why I kind of thought you were going, or where
shout
you're
out
going.
Garth from Wayne's World, but in a bad
Yeah.
way. Kind of like climbing the
Swing.
rope in gym class. Yeah, climbing the rope in gym class does suck. So, anyways,
I couldn't do it. I couldn't do more than like one hand above the other, and that was it. I don't have no
they
arm strength.
they don't make people do it anymore either. And you know what? Maybe they
They
should.
should.
I don't think they can afford ropes though. I think that's what it is. Um,
Because kids don't actually beat each other up anymore. They just like talk shit on social media. They don't actually use their fit. Well, no, I take that back. My friend works at a middle school, and she said kids fight there all the time.
they do, yeah. No, they're still fighting and all that. They just
Mm.
don't climb ropes. That's all. All right,
Because
so
kids don't go outdoors anymore either.
well, they do. They do. They go outdoors to check the mail to see if their Fortnite gift cards have arrived that they ordered from Amazon. So got him.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. Continue.
No, so I don't think I can do it justice. I'm going to describe it to you, but I don't think you're going to get the weird feeling unless you watch it. And
Okay. Can I
me
find it?
describing I don't. Yeah, you can find it. Yeah, just type in.
Okay.
Don't watch it yet. Gauntlet
No.
Legends N64. I forget. There's a bunch of them, so you might have to look a little bit for it. But you'll know
Okay.
after I describe it.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
and I had fun describing the commercials today, so let me describe it. You decide if it's weird or worth watching it. So yeah,
You
YouTube it
talk.
after. So the commercial opens up with a teenage girl twirling a phone cord in her hand. Now let me stop right there.
Okay.
For our younger listeners, phones used to be attached by a cord that was plugged into a wall. If you wanted privacy, you invested in a longer cord so you could take it to other places in the house. Talking to people is inherently boring, so you twirled the cord in your fingers, and if you were modern, you had the squiggly phone cords. So Big Fat, anyways, back to the commercial. She has a squiggly phone cord, by the way. The teen is twirling the phone cord in her hand, and she says, "You think I'm pretty?" In a very teenage way. She then says, "I am not. I am." And then she picks up a can of soda that has a flexi straw in it. By the way, shout out the flexi straws who were it was
Ooh.
invented by an Armenian. So shout out flexi straws
What?
and Armenians. And then they show like some Cheetos and some more soda, and it's like a really messy '90s living room. And then they show a full shot of the girl. You never really saw a full shot of her. Now you see her. And listen, as a girl dad and someone who finds beauty in everything, I would like to think, it's not very nice about this. But this is the ad was going for. She's not a classic '90s girl pretty. I mean, they're. I hate saying that, but they're going for like she has short brown hair, glasses, a retainer, a teddy bear
Oh.
sweater. She's
Yeah.
pounding junk food. It's not Kelly Kapowski, is what I'm saying here. You get
Yeah.
it, right? She's a bit homely, let's say, nerdy,
Yeah.
right? And then she says, "On a scale from 1 to 10, how pretty do you think I am?" And at this point, you can hear a dial tone coming from the phone. Now, listen, kids, a dial tone. Well, do cell phones have dial tones? Actually, I was going to explain
No.
dial tones. I know Jeff's shaking his head. No, I don't know because I don't call anyone. I just text. But the dial tone is the sound a phone makes when your call is not active. It lets you know that
Yeah.
nobody is currently on the other line, or you just picked it up to dial someone, or someone hung up on you. So in the commercial, the dial tone gets louder, making it obvious that she's talking to nobody. And the answer she hears to her question, "How pretty am I on a scale from 1 to 10, is 92. And then you hear, "If you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again." I don't want to explain that to kids because that voice on the phone always scared me. Do you know what I'm talking about, Janelle? If you'd
Uh.
like to make a call, please hang up and try again.
Yeah.
That voice?
Yeah. I know she did sound pretty. I wonder who that even was. It must have been one
Nancy
lady.
Reagan.
Oh gosh, was it really?
No, I don't know. I
Oh,
think it was
you
a
sounded with
robot.
such. Yeah, no, you're right. She was. I never thought about her being creepy, but I mean, now that I think about it, like it did definitely sound creepy.
Unsettling.
Yeah.
Do you remember? Did you watch Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Oh yeah, I've been rewatching it again. I just watched like the first like 3 or 4 or 5 seasons. Yeah, it's on. I don't know what platform I've been watching
Paramount
it
Plus, I
on.
believe, actually.
Probably. Yeah, I think that's where all the
Paramount
Nickelodeon
Plus
shows
sponsor
are.
us. We mentioned you twice, and we're
I
not
know.
like swearing or like saying like weird things
I
while we're
watched Fire
mentioning you.
Country on Paramount Plus too. I love that show.
That's a third plug for Paramount Plus. Send me the monies. But anyways, there's an episode called "The Phone Police" from Are You Afraid of the Dark? And that like I don't know, phones scared me as a kid.
Oh.
It's a
Me
weird
too.
fear.
I never liked talking on the phone actually. I still don't, but
Yeah, I'm very happy for text. So, back to the commercial. So, if you'd like to make a call, please hang up and try again. So at this point, she goes, "Oh, hold on, there's someone on the other line," and she pretends to click over, and then she clicks over. She goes, "Hello," and then that dial tone comes back, and then like the video kind of stops, and then the text on the screen says, "Some things are just better to do with other people, like Gauntlet Legends," and then it shows like the game footage
what
and
the
all that kind of
hell? What
stuff.
does that have? Does this have to do with anything? Yeah.
No, I know, and so
Yeah. Okay.
it's just like it's cool. Play with. It's basically saying like, hey, this game's cool. Play with your
Yeah, but that was a
friends.
weird way to go around about that.
Yeah, couch co-op. Rest in peace, couch co-op. In fact, I think our next episode I'm going to do couch co-op. Uh, yeah, gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, so the game footage ends. It goes back to the girl. She's continuing the fake and delusional conversation, and she goes, "I've been voted prettiest girl in America. I have not," she says with excitement, and then the plays again, and then N64 logo shows, and the ad is done. So I don't know. I think that's kind of a fucking mean ad, to be honest with you.
That's
I get
weird.
it. I get what they're saying. Like,
Well, yeah, I understand the premise, but what the fuck?
they had another one for the same game, and it's like a guy on a teeter totter by himself, which is sad, but it's not that mean. So I don't know. That poor girl. So yeah, you know what I'm going to ask the
For
makers of the
shame.
Gauntlet Legends N64 ad to know? You know what I'm going to ask them?
What the fuck?
Thank you. Thank you.
I know. That's what I said too. I realized after I said it, I'm well, that is definitely a what the fuck.
It really is. So you should watch it. You should watch it after
Yeah.
we're done here and ask yourself that out loud again. But
Can't wait.
so that takes care of that. Now, Danelle, let's see how this goes. This could be good or bad. I want you to help me with something. All right.
Okay.
I want you to make me a commercial.
Oh no. This is like the video game one that we did.
Kind of, yeah. So, all right. So I'm making a new console, and it's a love letter to throwback. It's a love letter and it's a throwback to the mid to late '90s. So it's like retro kind of game. So, but it's a new console, and it only plays new shit. But it plays old new shit, but it's gonna compete with the current gen systems somehow. I'm starting a new console war. So Danelle, we need a mid to late '90s celebrity. Go.
Oh god.
Just name the first one that comes to mind.
Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
All right, so Jonathan Taylor Thomas is sitting around, what? Is he at a pizza parlor or a barbershop? Is he at a Boston market? Don't let me influence you. Where is JTT sitting?
In a garden.
JTT is sitting in a garden. So JTT is, our shot opens up with JTT sitting in a garden, and he is quite bored. But this new game system is sure to get the party going. So, Danelle, come up with an upsetting way for the console to enter into the scene, like an exploding cake or something. Like, give me something. How is it going to extremely enter into the scene?
Um. Some exploding out of the dirt in the ground.
So, JTT is sitting in our garden, bored as heck, and then all of a sudden, what he thinks is a gopher is
There you
new game
go.
system exploding out of the ground, which inadvertently ends up killing a couple gophers in the process, but they don't show that. And so now he's
Nope.
super excited, and he's
Yep.
playing what? Give me a random title for a video game.
I Cheese Master.
Cheese Master. So coming soon to the new console near you, JTT is showing us Cheese Master, the game where you kill gophers in a garden, and that's our commercial. So we did it. JTT
no.
Garden Exploding Gophers Cheese Master.
No,
So
this is like a Mad Libs.
yeah, it could have went better, but one thing I will say is that Cheese Master might be something that we need to remember and make that into a game. So I'll remember that, and we'll come up with the premise for Cheese Master soon. So I'm thinking it's like like AYE, like I.
Oh, I thought you meant like the letter I.
No, no, not like a iRobot or
Yeah, that's what I was
uh,
like. I don't understand what I
I
cheese
don't give a
master.
fuck, but like
Yeah,
I Cheese Master. It's kind of like
I
yes, Cheese
cheese
Master. So
master.
like the Cheese
Hmm.
Master is gonna be our protagonist, I guess. And yeah.
That was
Um,
horrible, but
Danelle, any other questions, comments, concerns, songs, shout outs, or anything that has to do with video game commercials?
nope.
All right. So we're gonna get to our last segment, which is, of course, the Bonnie Raitt song. Let's give. Oh, wait, nope. Jeff's giving me the high sign, shaking his head no.
He's
Ah,
already stressed out. He's been looking
yeah,
at
we
the
ran out
time.
of time again. We're not gonna get to our main topic that we mentioned at the beginning of the show, but oh, that's okay.
Hot
Um,
topic.
yes. Danelle, I had fun today. I hope you did too. But it is time to say
I
goodbye. So say
did.
goodbye, Danelle.
Goodbye, Danelle.
And of course, we can't say goodbye without giving our double shift toast. So, may your
Yes.
gamer score be heavy and your backlog be light. May your connection be strong and your aim precision tight. May your Joy-Cons be as mighty as the ocean, but should they never drift. And for all you QA pirates out there, you'll survive. Yar! Double shift.
Arr.
Later, Hosen.
Later.